So the only thing we can assume is that Brexit happens on the 31st of March next year, the British exit from the European Union. How will that relationship with Africa change then? Emma Wade-Smith is our guest on Taking Stock. She is the Trade Commissioner for Africa, placed here by the Queen herself. You are the Queen's representative, of course, and she is the head of government in the UK. How is our relationship with you going to change from the 1st of April?
So hopefully it's not, is the first thing, because we are working really hard to make sure that there's continuity of trading and investing. But actually, when you look at the longer term trajectory, I think Brexit comes at a moment where we see huge and growing opportunities in South Africa and across Africa. We already have as sort of this robust, this broad, this deep, this long trading and investment relationship here. We're absolutely committed to seeing that grow, and that's one of the reasons why we've created these Trade Commissioner slots. Now,
earlier this evening, you were at the Africa Summit in Sandton. You had an audience, a captive audience of African delegates locked into the Sandton Convention Centre. What did you tell them? What assurances were you able to give them this evening that everything was going to be fine?
Well, my focus was around sort of investment. So really looking at how we build from our current position as the second largest foreign investor in Africa to becoming the largest G7 investor in the next few years. So how do we build on that £45 billion worth of investment stock that's here, much of it in South Africa, and start to see...
We'll take more, by the way. We're open to that.
Excellent. And to see those investment flows growing further. And so part of the answer to that is we will be hosting in London next year an Africa Investor Summit, which the Prime Minister mentioned when she was here in South Africa a couple of months ago. So that as a sort of a milestone, a stepping stone, if you like.
I mean, you're a person who deals at the dirty end of the business end of these deals and these transactions and these summits and everything else that happens. Do they actually ever translate into anything useful? I know there's a preponderance of African investment summits in different countries, and there are an awful lot of meetings. Are they actually ever going to translate into anything tangible?
So I think there are a number of things to this. Firstly, networking is highly underrated and actually really important. And of course, business is done between people. And so when you have these events, what it does is it brings people together, makes those personal connections. And I see time and time again, actually, that it's as a result of those connections made at sort of major summits and conferences that you see business start to flow. So I think that bit is important.
What British sectors are terribly keen on South Africa, sectors that haven't been here before, that are keen to come here post-Brexit? I mean, pick a date if you like, but you said there are lots of particularly smaller businesses keen to do business in South Africa. What sectors are they looking at?
So across the board, and I think that's one of the extraordinary things about the South African economy is...
it's desperate for any investment anyway, yes.
Is the diversity of the economy, Bruce.
The diversity of opportunity, courtesy of the fact that we're kind of desperate, yes.
So I think that, there's clearly a big amount of business around financial and professional services, where the UK has extraordinary expertise. There are already strong links between the Johannesburg Stock Exchange and the London Stock Exchange. Yeah. So how do we build that for some mutual growth and prosperity? But agri-tech as well is a really important part of South Africa, and bringing new technology into the agricultural sector to have better crop yields, more resistant crops and that sort of thing. But healthcare provision, South Africa has a very impressive healthcare system on the one hand, but also enormous opportunities to keep developing that and building. Education and skills is another area where there is a huge demand globally,
yes.
And really important part of South Africa's future. And not just about how do you get more teachers into more schools, but actually how do we bring technology and innovation into the education space? Because education and skills development is changing. And so this is about youth and adults and how all of us actually stay relevant and learn in different ways.
If I could make one request, though, if you could keep the likes of Bell Pottinger to yourselves and not unleash them on us again. Did that do damage to the relationship, do you think? I mean, Bell Pottinger's really adversarial approach to South Africa, and the fact that it led to the demise of Bell Pottinger, and that's been a very good thing. The City of London wouldn't stand for that sort of quite scurrilous behaviour and the sort of the discontent that they've fomented here. That strikes me as actually a positive, that they came, they tried, they failed, they're gone. Did it do damage?
I think that is right. You know, one of the things that I see time and time again from UK companies doing business in Africa is that we do good business and we do business the right way. And so that's about, you know, making some money, but it's also about investing in local communities, local workforce, and really sort of bringing that good business sense, values and principles to bear in the way that we do business across Africa. And, you know, the Bell Pottinger example was absolutely not in line with the way that values-driven business that I think the UK prides itself on. So ultimately, the fact that you know, the situation came to light and that the UK's regulatory body took immediate action, I think was a good demonstration of how values-driven business is the right way to go.
Emma Wade-Smith, thank you very much for coming in. Emma Wade-Smith is the UK Trade Commissioner for Africa, speaking earlier at the Africa Investment Summit, and they're sharing some of those insights with us this evening here on Taking Stock. Send us your feedback via Twitter, the handle for that at ENCA, or at Bruce Business, directly to me using the hashtag ENCA Taking Stock. Until next time, thank you very much for watching. Good night.
Taking Stock was sponsored by Standard Bank.